This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by the Shrimp Boat.
You're watching DelmarvaLife, and if you've been a faithful viewer of our show for any amount of time, you've seen us visit the Shrimp Boat in West Ocean City. Or you've seen owner Joe White come into the studio to serve up his fresh seafood. But today we're in a little bit of a different setting to show you how that operation is truly boat to table. The sun shines warm and bright. The water glistens a beautiful shade of blue. And father and son duo Eddie and Rusty Lynch cull the crabs.
It ain't missed a crab season since 1970.
Eddie can thank his father for that, a fellow waterman.
When I graduated high school, he told me, he said, "You want to do it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." Worked my father for 41 years, right beside of him. And now I'm working with my son, so you can't ask for no more than that.
Rusty was the ripe old age of 3 when he first stepped aboard.
Well, my family really couldn't afford a babysitter, so the next best thing is to go with them. And ever since then, I've stuck with them. You know, going crabbing and fishing and oystering. Anything that my dad or my grandfather did, I always followed behind.
And now, 3+ decades later, his enthusiasm for the endeavor hasn't changed.
It is nice to, get up and you see the sunrise in the morning, and I do appreciate the hard work, days of hard work, and I just love catching crabs and fishing, and it's just been, I guess it's in my blood.
All right, so Rusty, these are some crabs you caught this afternoon.
Yes, this is a number 1. This is a heavy fat crab, and this is a number 2. It's a light crab.
So what makes it a number 1 versus a number 2?
A number 1's got to be 5.5 inches and up and heavy, and a number 2, if it's light, we throw it in the number 2 basket. Gotcha.
Now, obviously, the color's very different.
Yes, the color is very different. This is an older crab. This one probably shedded a week ago, if I had to guess.
Really?
Yes. And this one, it's been on the bottom and just ate a lot and gotten fat and rusty belly. That's how I can tell is a good old rusty belly. That's a good crab.
These guys are clearly studs when it comes to shellfish stuff. Joe White of the Shrimp Boat restaurant knows that full well.
I always tease Mr. Eddie, he's like a crab hunter. Crabs don't just sit in one spot. They're not just waiting to be caught. They move. They're looking for a certain salinity in the water, a certain temperature, maybe in a food source. So when you're a crabber like Mr. Eddie, you're putting pots out in areas and you're monitoring almost their movement, almost like maybe a weatherman would.
And his family has had faith in these forecasters for generations.
I've worked with them because I was working with my uncle. He was buying crabs from Eddie and his dad for years, since the early 90s.
From the Chincoteague Bay to the West Ocean City restaurant, this partnership is equally appreciated on both sides.
I've always liked him and the gentleman before him, and it's so much easier to go to one spot and unload instead of 5 spots to unload. A lot nicer. Nice people up there, the kids that work for him and stuff. It's a good organization.
Eddie's a big fan of Joe's, that's for sure. And he's thrilled to feed folks crustaceans that are this fresh.
I like to see people get something that's really there, that hasn't been on somewhere for 7 days before it ever hit the restaurant, I like to see that, because I eat what comes fresh, and I'd like to see other people do the same,
It makes me feel good, excited. I mean, I'm hoping that they enjoy them. So this crab here, backed out of this shell.
Wow.
And this is how much she grew.
So she grew a lot.
Yeah, that's probably a good inch.
So do they back out of the shells and then grow, or do they grow and
when they're backing out, they're shedding their shell. I guess that's why they're backing out.
Right. And so this is a soft shell right here.
Yes.
So I could touch this.
Yes, it will not bite.
Really? Because they're like.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's wild. Dock now, dinner not long after. And the Shrimp Boat's menu offers all kinds of options for enjoyment.
Obviously, you can have steamed crabs. This fall, we're going to bring back our fried hard crab. So middle of September on, we'll have the fried hard crab again. But soft crabs until they run out of season sometime at the end of September, early October. Of course, crab cakes, and our fall specials are all built around crab cakes. So you can get crab cakes with fresh Norwegian salmon, grilled. You can get it with snow crab legs that come from Alaska, not from just anywhere. You can also get it with shrimp from North Carolina, same shrimp we're famous for. So, you know, you take that crab cake and you can have another dish with it, and it makes a wonderful meal. And it's all fresh, and I can tell you where everything on that plate came from.
As thankful as he is to be able to serve this stuff, Joe's even more appreciative for the guys and gals who do the work to make it possible.
You know, the Maryland crab market needs some protection, and the seafood that we've kind of come to take for granted that we can just come out here and get, it takes a lot of work. And if we don't encourage these families to continue on or other people to get involved, we'll lose it, and we'll be eating that lesser bland seafood, and we won't have many options.
For now, though, Eddie and Rusty aren't going anywhere.
Like I said, it's just it's a love that I've always had, and I'm not going to stop.
And Joe says the Shrimp Boat will be open through Thanksgiving, and then as far as December goes, that depends on Mother Nature. Back to you guys.
I tell you, it doesn't get any fresher than that. And we're going to get a look at that off-the-boat seafood turning into a delicious meal. That's next. Joe White of the Shrimp Boat is over in the DelmarvaLife kitchen to show us. He's going to whip up some crab cakes.
As you can see, the ingredients have made their way from the water we just saw before the break, and now they're here in the DelmarvaLife kitchen. That is what the Shrimp Boat is all about. We've got owner Joe White.
Thanks for having me out.
Yeah.
We're getting really close to eating something, so it's getting exciting, right?
We have to make it first, right?
Well,
Yeah.
we got a little work left to do.
Okay, so what do we got here?
So so we take our crabs right off that boat. We take all the nice heavy number ones, we serve them in the restaurant. We take the picking crabs to the picking house. We end up with fresh crab meat. So we know where these crabs came from. We controlled that process, and now here it is. So we have our lump and our jumbo lump.
Okay.
And we're going to make dueling crab cakes, and we're going to use them for different reasons. And they both taste really good.
Okay, all right.
So if you open up your crab meat, Katie's got the lump, which is fresh picked. There's no chemicals, no preservatives. It's the smaller pieces, and Lisa has the jumbo lump. One thing about domestic crab meat is the lumps aren't as big as, say, a foreign crab meat. So from a camera perspective, it doesn't make the prettiest picture, but it makes a tastier crab cake.
Oh, okay.
Which is really what
But
you
you've
want.
also set up a beautiful picture for us here. I mean, look at this. This is also amazing.
Thank you. We get fresh produce in every day and fresh bread. So, you know, we're very proud of every step of the process that we do.
Absolutely.
So before you put your crab meat in there, we're actually going to take our crab cake batter, which is high-end mayonnaise. You cannot go cheap on the mayonnaise. You're going to dump
Love
that
that.
in. And then we make our own breadcrumbs, but basically it's an unseasoned panko and some butter cracker blended together with our shrimp seasoning. But you just have to get that out of the can,
All right.
you know, from us. So.
I don't even ask anymore. I stopped asking what's in it. He won't tell me.
And then that's a cup of the mayonnaise batter and the seasonings, and then 1 cup of the panko butter cracker crumbs.
Toss that in there.
It is.
Here?
Okay.
Yep, the whole thing. I went ahead and measured it. And then you're going to mix that together. And we're going to pre-mix it, and that has the egg in it too, just so you know. There would be 1 egg, but it's already in there. We're going to pre-mix it so we don't have to beat the crab meat up too bad.
Ah, good idea.
Yeah, that's good news.
And then I have a pan here with just a little bit of butter smeared on the bottom so the crab cakes don't stick. That's perfect. Now when we put this crab meat in here, we're gonna dump it in. Lisa, yours doesn't have any shell. You can just go right in. Katie, we're gonna, as we put yours in here, we're just gonna make sure we don't feel any shells. But we're not gonna mash it together like you might make a handmade burger or something, which we do that too. But we're gonna be a little bit more gentle, and we're just feeling for some shells. And you really shouldn't find any, but if you find a a spare one, and then Lisa's already on it. You're actually
Lisa's
just
beating me.
Yeah, she's probably done this
Oh,
a
this
couple
isn't
times.
a race.
So we're gonna just fold this together.
Okay.
Here, I'll take this from you.
Okay, yeah, you take
and,
that.
go ahead, you fold it together.
Okay. Just some nice folding.
Yeah.
Okay. You want it like I want to be gentle a little bit, like nothing too crazy.
Now you're making the lump one, which has the smaller pieces. You know, I always tell folks, if you're not used to making crab cakes, the lump crab meat will make just as good a crab cake because you might beat it up anyway. You got to remember, it's from the same crab. I mean, it doesn't have a different flavor, it's just a different texture.
Okay. How's this?
That's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab in here and we weigh out a 5-ounce jumbo lump crab cake. And after you do it a few times, you kind of get pretty good.
You don't need to weigh out so much?
Is that the standard size, or is that shrimp boat thing?
We like a big one. We do a 5-ounce. Some places do 4. And then we like a 5 because it kind of fills up the roll really well.
Right.
And,
What do you think?
Oh, you got it. Oh,
I got it? Oh,
yeah, would you
except for
start
that
stopping
little-
by in the mornings? And because we make a lot of these every morning. There's another little trick too. When you're making these at home, once we get to this point, you want to actually put them in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes.
Oh.
You don't have to cover them, but I would cover them. We cover them when we do it. What you're allowing is the gluten from the breadcrumbs and the fat from the mayonnaise to do what they're going to do, which is act as a glue.
Is that too big, Joe?
It's a little bit.
Ah, okay. All right. Sorry. I went for it.
That's actually, I mean, you weren't far off. You're
I was
about
gonna say,
half an ounce.
that's
and
a
actually,
good eye.
we're really going to need you to stop by, Lisa, in the
No.
morning.
She's hired.
So I'm going to put these in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes at 425 degrees. You want to put them in there, Kate?
I sure will, Joe.
And once they get a golden brown on the top and you start seeing clear bubbles come out the bottom, they're done.
They're done.
Yes.
All right. Well, it sounds like a good time to take a little break.
Yep.
And when we come back, we're going to finish this seafood extravaganza with Joe White. Stay with us. Crab cakes happen at the shrimp boat, and they're also happening right here. Joe White joins us once again in the DelmarvaLife kitchen, and I think that our crab cakes are about done.
They smell like they're ready.
They smell done?
Ready?
Okay, Katie.
All right.
them out.
I'm on the duty here.
Yep.
Okay.
You got this.
Ooh, and they look good. Look good.
Oh my
smell
gosh.
good.
Y'all did a nice job putting them together.
Lisa,
Look at
crushed
that.
this. Oops. Okay.
That's
Wow.
30 ounces of crab cake there, right?
Wow.
It is. And we're going to do a little something extra with them
Okay.
just to make them taste really good.
Yeah, you
right?
got this pan heating up.
So what we do every morning at the shrimp boat is we take we have fresh bread brought to us and we grill it just to put some marks on it. And Katie, if you want to take a couple pieces of
Sure.
this is really high-end cheddar cheese, not the not just regular store.
Am I putting it right here?
It's not cheese food.
It's not cheese food. It's cheese.
Here?
Yep, one there and one
One there, one there. Okay.
And we're going to use the lump crab cake, not the jumbo lump. And we're going to actually put it in the middle, and we're going to mush it down. And we're going to make a crab melt. If you want to flip that over.
Okay.
Look at that.
Ba-da-da-da.
Yeah. And then this is already buttered, so we're actually going to put it just right on that grill.
Should I do that too?
Yes, go ahead. Go for it.
Nice.
All right.
Right in
Then
the
we're
center.
going to smash it just a little bit. While that's doing it, Lisa, we'll make up the crab cake. Do you all like anything on your crab cake, like lettuce or
Yes.
tomato or
everything.
onion?
Yep, I do actually.
All the above.
All of it?
You know, and something I learned, well, we learned just recently that the shrimp boat is TikTok famous.
Yeah.
What the heck? What's going on?
I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew how it happened, but we make our frozen drinks the same manner we make the food, and we have a creamsicle. We have an adult version with some alcohol in it. We also have a kids version, and it has a real creamsicle on the top. And it was a drink that people bought. And then a couple weeks ago, my daughter Lily came to me and she goes, we're trending on TikTok. And I figured it was something she did because she does make videos for me. And all of a sudden, people just started coming in. They're like, "Where's that drink?"
Oh my gosh!
I'm like, "Well, you still want a shrimp sample, right?" And they're like, "Where's the drink?" So,
Got Gotta love TikTok.
Yeah, so it's great. And Julie, our service manager, she works really hard on that stuff. And Robert, our service bartender, they do a really nice job. And kudos to them for doing such a good job with it.
Neat.
I love that.
All right.
That's always how it is on TikTok too, though. Like you just don't really know why you're going to get famous, but then you end up TikTok famous.
Yeah,
I feel
Yeah.
like it's
you just do the right thing, and
Yeah.
sometimes somebody notices and they put you out there. So.
Yeah.
So I just flipped this, and I'm going to take our jumbo lump crab cake, and I'm going to put on the roll, and then I'm going to cut it for you too. So everybody gets some.
My favorite part of the job.
yes.
This is the tough part, right?
Yeah.
Very difficult.
So,
All right.
and then I'm going to take this crab melt off while you all are trying that, and I'll
Okay.
get it cut, and
All right, here we go.
just not quite there, but just.
That's great.
That is so good.
Thank you.
And big chunks of crab meat.
Very crabby. Oh, wow.
And you know, knowing where the crabs come from, the crabs are different during different times of year. There is a certain time of year where they're a little sweeter, and we're coming into that. And a lot of our fall specials, a lot of our fall menu is geared towards the things that are going to taste the best for this time of year. And that's that's what we're all about.
And you know what I love about the shrimp boat is you can pick up the seafood raw and make it yourself. You guys will cook it. You can sit down and eat. It's options. I love the options.
Yes, thank you.
And Joe, do you know what you nailed about this sandwich here is that people say when you cut it diagonal, it makes a bigger sandwich. Have you seen that?
I went in second grade, yeah. I did say that. No, I used to
You
tell
nailed
my
that.
mom that. So, well, thank you.
Oh, wow.
Cheese
I
and
love the
crab
way the
meat.
bread just like melts in my mouth with this thing.
Oh,
Yeah, fresh bread makes a big difference.
that is so good. Joe, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me out once again.